In this video, I'm going to show you a couple of neat tricks that I use to beef up your exterior doors and get a lot more strength out of them. And I'm also going to show you a couple of tests that I did where I made two mock-up door jambs, one using the original cheesy hardware that comes with most door locks, and a second using my beefed up method, and we're going to see how much pressure it takes to break each one of them and what the difference is. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, so let's get the old hardware out. Now on this top one here, if you notice, there's no brass piece behind. When you buy a deadbolt, it usually comes with a pretty heavy-duty brass piece with some thick screws, but they left all that out. Now next I would get your plate and kind of get it screwed on there with a couple of screws. Make sure the door closes the way you want to. Now I haven't sunk it in the wood yet. I just want to test everything to make sure it's going to work. Go ahead and remove your weather stripping. It'll make it easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and trace around this now that I've got it where I want it. Notice the way I'm holding the pencil so that the lead is closer to the metal. That way I don't wind up with a pattern that's too big. Now we'll go ahead and remove that, and we'll get our chisel and start whittling away. All right? Careful not to cut too deep. It's very easy to do that. Just take your time, and it'll go very well for you. I also do like to take a knife, a box knife, and go around the perimeter and kind of score everything. That way when I get there with the chisel doesn't wind up going too far. This works pretty well for me. All right, so we've got our pattern cut out and sunk in the wood there. Next, go ahead and get our piece screwed in. Tighten it all up right there. Very good. If you're finding any value in this video, please subscribe to this channel. I come out with videos like this as often as I can. And now notice I'm using 3-inch screws in every hole on this one. And we'll go ahead and put our weather stripping back. Let's make sure the door closes properly and everything locks the way I want it. Now on this one, when I tightened up all those screws, it wound up opening that gap up there a little bit. I didn't like that, so I took the trim off and I put some shims behind that. Of course, I loosened the plate up and closed that gap with the shims, and then I tightened everything back up. Now next, I would take these little stupid screws that they've got in these hinges and replace all these with some beefy 3-inch screws. All right, now that's going to hold that side of the door very well, and I would go ahead and do that to the rest of the screws and the other 2 hinges as well. All right. Now here, I've got this rigged, all right, with a strap using the standard cheap screws. All right, just wanted to show that, and we're pumping that up to, I think it's going to cut off at right around 400 pounds, and that wood is going to break right about right there. There it went, it broke. All right, so here we have our beefy plate with the 3-inch screws in every hole. Now this one is going to go up a lot higher, so it's going to take a little bit more time. Now this one's I'm not going to tell you where it winds up at. It's going to be a surprise. It's not as high as I would have thought, but it was quite a bit higher than the other one went. So we're already up around 600 pounds, and just keep on pulling until it doesn't want to pull anymore. All right, so we're coming up to 7. Very good. It's a lot stronger, so we're already about double almost right there. There's 8, so we're at double the strength. Now it's getting ready to break. It's creaking and cracking. It's not happy. Right around right there is it. Boom. Now I could have kept on pulling right there, but I figured once the wood broke, that was good enough. All right, so as you can see there, that second door jamb took about 950 pounds to break it. That's a lot more pressure than the original one at 400 pounds. Now that's because I had 3-inch screws running through behind the door jamb into a 2x4, because a real door has a 2x4 on the other side of the door jamb. Now even though the edge of that wood broke, that plate still had several screws that were biting into the 2x4, so I probably could have pulled a lot harder, but I probably would have broken my strap, and once the wood broke, I figured it was time to stop anyway. I proved the point. Now, when you go and do the hinges, if you put those 3-inch screws in there, which I recommend, if you wind up pulling your door so that now it won't close, Well, that's because they didn't shim it in the right places behind on the hinge side. All right, so I have a video where I take a crescent wrench and I bend the door hinges so that you can realign the door again so that it'll close again. Do put the screws there, but if you have a problem, just bend them back. I'll link to, or I'll put a card up here in the corner for that other video so that you can fix that if that should arise. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching.